So for our practice, we're going to need a sheet of sketchbook paper. And I've provided photos to you of 4 basic forms. We are going to work with a cube, a cylinder, a cone, and a sphere. So we're going to start with the simplest of these 4 shapes, or forms I should say, and that is going to be the cube. So I know in the video that you watched, they discussed about contour lines and how they show the surface movement of our object. Now the photographs uploaded to your assignment have the cube in this position. So this is what I'm going to be seeing when I have it off to the side here. You will want to look at that reference, so you may want to split screen with this video, or watch the video and then go and look at the photo reference I have for you for a cube and complete your assignment. So let's start with the cube. Now it is all straight sides. So when I draw a cube, I do find it easier when you are first learning how to draw cubes in 3 dimensions, that you have the corner of the cube coming closer to you. So in this case, with me holding it up, this corner is closer to the camera than this corner, or this corner, or this corner in the back. So I'm going to position this off to the side here. And I'm going to sketch out the contour outline of the cube. So remember, the contour outline is the basic outline form or shape of the object using lines. This may be an exercise you've done in 7th grade, depending on who your instructor was. I know my students in 7th grade, we learned how to draw these basic forms. So I'm starting with the top of the cube, and it looks like a diamond. And I'm lightly sketching it out. From my left corner, my middle corner, and my right corner, I'm going to drop down vertical lines. And I want to try to keep them as parallel to each other as possible. So again, I'm sketching. Once I have those lines, I'm going to now create the bottom. So just as the top front corner drops down lower on the surface of our paper, the bottom of the cube where it touches the table, you should be observing in that photograph, or if you happen to have an object in front of you that is a cube, that front corner at the bottom of the object also drops down to us. So if I hold this up again so that my corner is closest to the camera, here's that front corner, and it appears to drop down lower towards the bottom of the screen. And the bottom of that also seems to drop down towards the bottom of the screen. So it is down further than our other corners. And that is what helps make the cube look 3-dimensional. So I'm going to try to create, for simplicity, a line at the bottom here that's parallel to this line at the top. And this line at the top on the left side, I want a line at the bottom that is parallel to it. So again, I'm going to just sketch that out to try to place these lines. Once I have a fairly good looking cube, I'm going to slightly darken in those edges, just so it's easier for me to see my form. What you have with your sides is 3 vertical lines. Make sure that they are not slanting outwards like this or like this. Make sure they are as vertical as possible, and you can judge that from the side of the paper. I should have 1, 2, and 3 lines parallel to each other going off to the upper right corner of my paper. And I should have 1, 2, 3 sides going towards the upper left corner of my paper. That is how you draw your cube in 3 dimensions. So now that I have that, I want to add cross contour lines. And cross contour lines we consider more to be the lines on the surface of the object if we were to run our finger along it. Now, being that this is a flat-sided object and I took the time to add some tape to it in places so that you can see those cross contour lines a little bit better, they're going to come again parallel to the lines we already have. So here's this top corner. If I come across the top surface, those lines are going to be parallel to that top corner and to the one further back, this one. When I start on this side along the top, this top corner and the lines moving towards this back corner are again parallel to it until you reach this back corner. Same thing comes from the front. So vertical lines are going to have vertical lines across the surface here. And that's what the tape represents. If I started here and trace downwards, it's flat, it's a straight line. So no matter which direction or which side I'm tracing with my finger, those are going to be some straight lines, because this is a flat-sided object. So I'm going to start that on my object. So if I start at the top, again, I'm going to sketch out. I'm going to try to keep these lines parallel to each other as I fill up the top of the space of my cube. That's not too bad. Where they touch this corner, I'm going to drop a vertical down, and again I'm going to try to keep them parallel to each other. So I have 2 sides with some contour lines on them. I'm going to continue this vertical line movement on the right side of my box. And again, trying to keep those lines vertical to each other. And now where they touch this top corner, I'm going to bring lines crossing over that first set and get my cross contour. Now, when you are trying to draw straight lines freehand, it doesn't hurt to move your paper. I find it easier for me to get a fairly decent straight line if I do so. And again, I want to try to keep them parallel to each other as I work my way back along the side of this cube. And I missed one. I do have one right here. So I want to complete cross contours on the front, similar to what I have down here with the tape. So I'm going to come across parallel, heading towards the right top corner of my paper, and parallel to the top left corner of my paper, just following the information that's already given to me in the contour line drawing. And of course, where these touch that front corner, this is where I'm going to bring my cross contours on the left side back. So the outline contour lines that we drew of the cube help give us the first indications of the 3 dimensions by having that front corner drop down and starting with that diamond shape at the top, having vertical lines coming off those corners that we see, and completing the bottom of the box so that the front corner again drops down lower on the paper. I've already started the 3-dimensional look. Now that I've added contour lines to the surface of my cube, it helps emphasize that 3-dimensional movement. And again, you don't have to use a ruler with this. This is just a freehand practice. But after you do finish sketching things out, if you want to come in with a ruler and clean up your lines and make them darker, you can do so. But that is a flat-sided object like the cube using contour and cross contour lines.